Week 147, Curator's Perspective, Boundaries. Imagine walking into a candy store with no limits. Exciting, right? But what happens when you leave with a stomachache? That's the reality many entrepreneurs face without boundaries. I'll admit it, I used to think boundaries were just some buzzword from the self-help book section, more theory than practice. But I prefer to learn the hard way, how real they are and how essential they have been for any entrepreneur. When I was 6, I walked into an old-time penny candy store, my hand wrapped around my grandfather's pinky. As the door swung shut behind us and every bright-colored candy package with fun cartoons at my eye level staring back at me, my grandfather handed me a brown paper lunch bag and said, "Get whatever you want." Boy, that bag felt bottomless. I looked up at my grandfather with sparkles in my eyes and rockets on my feet. Reflecting on that memory as an entrepreneur, I realize it felt like a room full of endless opportunity. In many ways, starting a business can feel just as exhilarating and limitless. Every decision feels like a thrilling opportunity. You get to choose it all: what you do, how and when you do that work, who you do it for, and what you charge. No one is telling you where the bumpers on the runway are. You think you can do it all. You can have a 3-page menu of products and/or services, work all hours of the day, and execute it the way you decide is best. You stretch your zone of genius to work with everyone, and you're not charging enough for the experience you bring to the table. Business doesn't work that way. Without boundaries, you wake up in a sugar-high hangover, wrappers at your feet, physically exhausted, and your wallet empty. Boundaries are essential to personal and entrepreneurial success. Setting boundaries can feel like navigating an endless candy store of options. It's tempting to say yes to everything exciting that comes our way, but without boundaries, it doesn't take long to feel that sugar crash. Recognizing our limits is important, even when everything feels urgent or exciting. Setting boundaries doesn't have to feel like walking out of the candy store empty-handed. Instead, it can feel like finding the harmony, like picking just enough treats to savor without the sugar crash. In the same way, finding harmony in work can look like taking the time to find that strategic yes and no around the best use of your time, energy, and attention, without leaving you feeling like you ate all of the fun dip 3-flavored dip pouches. Saying no to people, events, and opportunities you intuitively know drain your energy. Waking up in the morning feeling the joy and the challenge around your work with the wisdom to know when to push past procrastination or undesirable tasks on your to-do list because you and your business will be better for it, and knowing when to reach for support. We've unpacked a lot around boundaries this month. As October's ride comes to a complete stop, a few reminders and practices to take with you as you exit the ride safely. We've learned to identify when soft and hard boundaries might need to be set, the benefit of the power of the pause specifically for that entrepreneurial brain, and the discomfort we may feel when someone sets a boundary with us. We've been reminded that clear is kind. No is a complete sentence, and you can say no without explaining yourself. Here are a few boundary practices to consider as an entrepreneur. Try setting a timer when making decisions to practice the power of the pause. When asked to take on a new project or opportunity, take a deep breath. Set a timer for 5 minutes and ask yourself, does this support my goals? Does it drain or energize me? This simple act of pausing can help you stay in control of your boundaries. Remember, setting boundaries isn't an all-or-nothing task. It's about building a habit over time. Start small. Maybe it's saying no to one project a week or setting aside just an hour each day for focused work. Each boundary you set is a step towards building a sustainable, joyful business. Choose one boundary to set this week and notice how it impacts your work and well-being. Setting and protecting your boundaries is more than a skill. It's a practice of honoring what keeps you focused, energized, and aligned with your goals. Establishing boundaries helps you find the sweet spot in work and life. It allows you to choose how you spend your time, reserve your energy, and protect the quality of work without spreading yourself too thin. You're building a sustainable path forward with each no rooted in purpose. By learning and relearning the art of saying no, you'll give yourself the freedom to say a resounding yes to what really matters. I have 2 questions for you this week. Feel free to answer one or both. How might saying no more often enhance the quality of your work and client relationships? And what fears or beliefs come up for you when considering setting firmer boundaries to improve your business success? Reply and share with me.